All right, we have a Broadway theater with 500 seats divided into orchestra, main, and balcony seating. Orchestra is 50, main seats 35, balcony 25. If all the seats are sold, the gross revenue is $17,100. If the main and balcony are sold, but only half the orchestra, then this is the revenue. How many there are of each seat? So we have three variables here. We have our orchestra seat, so I'm going to call that O. I'm going to put a little curvy with it so I don't confuse it with a 0. So O is orchestra. M is the main, and B are the balcony seats. Okay, and then I know there's 500 total seats, so I know that O plus M plus B equals 500. And if I sell all the seats, I know it's 50 for orchestra, 35 for the main, and 25 for the balcony. And if all of them are sold, it's 17,100. Okay. So the next part's tricky, but it says, all right, we're gonna sell all the main and balcony. So this doesn't change, but instead of O, it's going to be half of the orchestra seats. So it's still 50 for all the ones I sell. It's just I'm only selling half of them that time. Okay, but I sell all of the main, I sell all of the balcony, and when that happens, then I make 14,600. Okay, so this is our three variable system. Okay. Now I do have all three variables for all three parts, so generally I would try to, I would say let's eliminate a variable twice. For this one, and we can do that, but for this one, if you notice, we have the same M and B amounts here, so we can actually easily solve for the orchestra seats and get that answer, and then we can just plug it in to a couple of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, so in terms of solving, I'm going to do row 2 minus row 3. Okay, so I'm going to subtract them. I'm going to go ahead and, because I'm only subtracting them and I'm not multiplying, I'm going to go ahead and go right to the answer. So here's 50, and I'm subtracting row 3. Well, what's 50 times a half? So 50 minus 25 is just 25 times the orchestra. 35 times the main minus 35 is 0. 25 balcony minus 25 balcony is 0. And then 17,100 minus 14,600 is going to be 2,500. So I have solved for the orchestra seats. There are 100 seats. So I know that already. There's going to be 100. Okay. Now because of that, I can take this amount and plug it into two of the rows to get a two variable system. So I'm going to plug my orchestra solution, so O equals 100, into, I'm going to go ahead and just pick row 1 and row 2. Okay, and then what happens is I get 100 plus M plus B equals 500. So this is my row 1. And then row 2, I get 50 times 100 plus 35M plus 25B equals 17,100. And then I'm going to simplify, and then I'll have my system. So here, I'm going to subtract 100 from both sides. So I get M plus B equals 400. 50 times 1,000 is 5,000. So I just need to subtract. So this is going to be 35M plus 25B equals, and when I subtract 5,000 from both sides, I get 12,100. Okay? So now I just have a two variable system. All I need to do is solve. So we can use substitution, we can use elimination. I think that I am going to use elimination. So this is my two variable system now. And I'm going to go ahead and multiply everything by negative 25 to eliminate the b's. So I have then negative 25 times row 1 plus row 2. So then I get, for row 1, negative 25m minus 25b equals negative 4,000, no, negative 10,000, 25 times 4. Yep. And then row 2 doesn't change, so that's 35m plus 25b equals 12,100. And then I can add them together, and then I'm left with 10m equals what is that going to equal? 2,100. Yep. So that means m, when I divide both sides by 10, is going to be 210. All right, so I have m. Now I need to solve for b. I'm going to come back to this equation here. And now I can plug m into row 1. So then I get 210 plus b equals 400. So then b is 190. And so then we can write our final answer. So we have 100 orchestra seats. We have 210 main seats. And we have 190 balcony seats.